Welcome back to my channel. I'm Taekwon Reezy. You remember the 50-year experiment that we did on Football Manager 2024? Well, I finally got 100 years of Football Manager 2024. I've got the database and everything, and it looks good. I can't even lie. There's some very interesting things that we've seen. We can check out some clubs who's really are the new powerhouses in 100 years time, and see if any big teams have dropped. So that is the scenario right now. There are teams looking for managers like Atletico Madrid, Racing Santander, Mallorca, Rangers, Emen, Ajax, Genoa, Frosinone, Alessandria, Greuther Fürth, and Lille. So that's the scenario. We're going to take a look at all the leagues. So I've actually removed some of the leagues so the gameplay can flow. And yes, in Brazil, I have no idea what is happening because all these teams, they are, probably say, Flamengo's won it 19 times. They're still at the Maracanã, so there's nothing. Other than that, who's been winning it in? I have no idea who's been winning. It's different winners in Brazilian league. It's view only as well. But standouts, you probably say Flamengo, Paranaense, Palmeiras. So definitely have that. But we're here for the Premier League, guys. We are here for the Premier League. That is the scenario right now. We are here for the Prem. And in the latest edition of the Premier League, in the 100 years that we've done in this career, it's all changed. The big six are no longer big sixing. And we've got new teams that are going to be powerhouses of the Premier League. And we talked about Everton as this powerhouse. Everton are the chief powerhouse. Still, that is the spoiler alert. Everton have well and truly thrived in this save. They're at the Leidenshell Arena. And honestly, I can't even lie. Everton, they've got a team out there. Alberto Garrido with 412 goals for the club. 412 goals for the club. He was signed from Sevilla for £195 million. Absolute. What do you know? He's still working in football. He's a head of youth development at Nice. Basically stayed there for a long time. So we've got that. So Everton, they've been a powerhouse. Coventry finished 6 points behind Everton. Southampton and Crystal Palace got top four. Norwich and Peterborough got Europa League football. So that is an insane top big six, especially in 100 years from now. Peterborough United really came through as well. Aston Villa, and then you got the established Premier sides: Aston Villa, Chelsea, Man United, and Arsenal getting top half with Liverpool. I assume Liverpool won the Carabao Cup. So Liverpool definitely take something home with them. Tottenham, relegated was Reading, Leicester, and West Ham, with Brentford managing to stay up alongside Newcastle and Leeds. Man City, Bournemouth, Tottenham, mid-table, firmly mid-table, nothing really going for them as well. You see the player stats, you have Nick Stewart scoring 30 goals for Liverpool, winning the Carabao Cup. Alongside that, very well. Would I say it's a successful season? I mean, don't get me wrong. With the stats that you see, Nick Stewart's actually a very good striker, ground striker, good pace, decision making, and all the things that you need. 61 goals in 112 appearances. He was actually started off at Leicester, went to America, did a little American tour with Inter Miami, and moved back to England to join Liverpool. He's been there for 10 years. Shout out Nick Stewart as well for Liverpool. It hasn't been easy for Liverpool. Let's see in a save like this. Carletti, second highest goal scorer for in the Premier League. Started off at Inter, never made it. Joined Lesso in the Serie A. They actually made it into the Serie A. We can check that out as well. And then he joined Coventry for 59 mil. See what I'm saying? It's a very interesting teams have actually come through the ranks. Kamil Prushnik as well. Looks like a very good striker that Everton got. And you can see why Everton are so dominant. The scouts, they signed him Robert Legia Warsaw for cheap. And now look how good he is. Man, the wages that he's on as well. Justifying those all-important wages as well. The best player in the league was Paulo Diogo, Aston Villa. Great winger. It's just wow. It's just like these wingers are just incredible. Signed from Porto nominees as well. It's like the Metas really just have wingers that can cross to the strikers. Like especially in the 4-4-2. That seems to be the case. Midfielders, I wouldn't even have him as a ball-winning midfielder. It says he looks like a ball-winning midfielder, but he's actually not a ball-winning midfielder. Do you know what I mean? I definitely would just have him. Spanish midfielder, started off with Levante, moved to Real Madrid, and then Everton. I mean, it's crazy how Everton have so much ball. They're signing players from Real Madrid. Shane Gorman as well. Number 10, he could play as a 10, he could play as a 10 as well. Came through the ranks at Cov, so we've got it. If you see records here, Everton have won the most league titles with 46, dwarfing everybody. And in fact, you look at it, Everton are the team that have broken the most records. Everton, Salford, fewest points, Salford mostly wins. Everton, fewest wins, Salford mostly defeats Sheffield Wednesday. So you could actually see the highest competition average attendance was actually going up and up and up. Highest attendance has gone to Bournemouth for some weird reason. Bournemouth have the biggest stadium in England. Wow. And most matches without losing, by the way, went to Arsenal. What do you know? Arsenal broke their 49 undefeated streak in this. But it didn't even win them the league. It didn't. It didn't win them the league. Just so you know. Most matches without scoring went to Sheffield United. Bad. Worst team discipline went to West Ham. 11 red cards, 96 yellows. Most assists went to Emil Trump. Chelsea player. Highest average rating went to Esnardo Benitez of Coventry. Most player of the matches, 9 to Esnardo Benitez of Coventry. Wow. Honestly, I can't even lie. Youngest player was Andy Gibbs of Cardiff. The youngest goal scorer was a Sheffield United player in their 1-0 win against Chelsea. Intriguing, right? But we'll have a look at the past winners so you can see what we're saying. So we entered this period, we stopped it at the last period where Everton was on their supreme run of dominance with Bournemouth basically coming through. Man City winning the last title as well. And then you can see Everton just have another dominant period. Only Chelsea and Bournemouth could stop them. Man City as well, Southampton. And then Everton, they didn't have a downfall as such. It's just Bournemouth. But Southampton mainly took over. You had Manchester United with a few title wins. Aston Villa having a title win as well. And then Everton resumed their period of dominance like they've never left. Like, what? That was. Coventry even had a win as well. Peterborough took third as well. Definitely see Peterborough up there as well. Peterborough up there becoming a Premier League force as such. But if we go into the next season, we're just looking for some shocks as well. Looking for any sort of shocks that could happen, especially with this. Brighton winning the Carabao Cup, but they ended up getting relegated. So it's the way I see it there. I mean, there's not really any shocks. Oh yeah, Spurs got relegated. Spurs actually got relegated. They got relegated there. Leeds only winning one game that season. And I saw Leeds qualifying for Europe as well a few times. That, especially in the 50 years on, I remember I did Leeds and really made them into a powerhouse as well. But fortunately, Leeds didn't turn into a powerhouse. Spurs being relegated with Lincoln, Aston Villa, Coventry all staying up. Such a thing. And then you can see Millwall made it into the Premier League. They stayed up in 2082. So Millwall fans rejoice. You will get to see your team in the Premier League. Well, I'm not sure if any of them will actually see their team in the Premier League. Well, some of them actually, not all of them. I'm not taking cheap digs. You get me? I don't need to take cheap digs. But yeah, Tottenham have been relegated for a second time as well, alongside Sheffield United and Millwall. Millwall suffering the second season syndrome there, so that is where. And then Arsenal got relegated. Arsenal got relegated in 2086. So we're seeing a lot of the former Big Six teams getting relegated. We had Liverpool, we had Tottenham, we had Arsenal all being relegated so far. And you had Sheffield Wednesday. They actually had less points than Derby despite winning twice. Both at home to Leeds and Walsall. They did pick up a great point at Anfield, but Liverpool aren't really the best team. They did pick up a point against third place Aston Villa though, so that's definitely something good to treasure for them. Look at that, Arsenal just about staying up in the Premier League. There you can see Ipswich, they've made it back. Lincoln, they won the FA Cup. They got relegated that same year. Aston Villa got relegated for the first time in this save. Villa got relegated in 2094. Man City got relegated in 2096. Manchester City's downfall is finally complete in this save. And then Man City got relegated again. Always something. Chelsea got relegated in 2102. I had to say it like that. I know you saw Man City just staying up ahead of Preston. So you could have had two Big Six teams, four Big Six teams relegated as well. So that's the era when Southampton was taken over as well. Man City relegated once again. Man City really, they turned into a yo-yo side with the amount of relegations that City suffered. Salford only accumulated 6 points. Draws against Tottenham, Palace, West Ham, Brentford, Newcastle and Chelsea was as good as it got. For Salford, they found the Prem a bit too far deep. Man City just, wow. I mean, Man City at this point, this is like their 5th relegation. This was like Man City's 5th relegation in the Prem. Then Newcastle got relegated. The main consistent club in this, save Newcastle, ended up getting relegated in the save, meaning that Everton is the only source of consistency that we've had for the 100 years. Everton never been relegated ever since. Everton's coming up to 200 years, consecutive years of the top flight. Wouldn't you know? Wouldn't you believe it? It's crazy. Liverpool suffered a relegation, so they definitely are in that mold. Bromley made it to the Premier League. Good for Bromley. I can't lie. Good for Bromley. I don't even get to see it. I don't get to see it. I'll be dead by then, mate. Well, I'll be gone. Do you know what I mean? I'll be gone, finished. But still, Bromley had an amazing trophy cabinet. I mean, big up to the boys. All the whole time. I mean, all the stadiums. I mean, Bromley are a real powerhouse now. I mean, 100 times better than Sutton. 100 times better than Sutton in this. So that's something. That's something to treasure. Really treasure. But they actually did compete in the Prem. They did compete. 3 home wins. Double against Leicester. We'll take it. And then more. And then a double. Well, a draw. 2 draws with Liverpool. Very impressive there. Yeah, even then, as we move closer to it, we move close. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it with the Prem. Everton, you can see Everton, just the top team. You know, the amount of players they could just put into the Dream 11. Dream 11. I think that's 4 of them in there. You got Villa player, you got Coventry players in there, you got Crystal Palace player, you got Bournemouth player in as well. So you can see the variety as well as the big 6 clubs are basically no more. Well, Chelsea has a member. Chelsea's got a member as well. So there is that. Other than that, it's homing real. So let's move in. So I'm gonna just check all the stadiums as well, so you can see stadium size. Bournemouth have got the biggest stadium in England, then Everton, then Man City at the Pep Guardiola Stadium. See the amount of times Man City got relegated before this, but Man City have established themselves in the Prem once again. Actually, intuitively, Man City, they ain't even touched the Champions League in like 100 years. So you can see the downfall of Man City. They only won the Premier League twice from like their biggest points. So Man City really suffered downfall. Silverware really surpassed Man City as the year gone by. We can see Everton now with 18 Champions League trophies. Wow, 18. They dwarfed Liverpool. They absolutely dwarfed Liverpool. Even in the 50 years saved, they dwarfed Liverpool with the amount of Champions Leagues that they won. And they absolutely surpassed them. Bro, it's crazy. Like, for Liverpool to even catch up, they would need just a period of just unrivaled dominance. Because look at this. This is just crazy. 46 titles, 159 wins as well. It's unreal. Unreal. Everton, well done. Everton, well done. That's all I can say. Jordan McGrath's arena, Chelsea got a new arena. Then Patrick Vieira Stadium. The Patrick Vieira Stadium. Arsenal moved into that in 2082. Big up to the boys there. Southampton got a new stadium, moved into it recent. Bournemouth, Everton. Basically, just check out all the teams as well. All the teams. Aston Villa still at Villa Park. Brentford. Coventry built a new stadium. Or they built a new Rica Arena. Crystal Palace got a new stadium. The Georg Dorschner Arena. German player. Leiden Shell. Leeds still at Ellen Road. We love to see it. Leeds United still at Ellen Road. Big up to Leeds. Still at Ellen Road this whole time. Yeah, man. We love to see old stadiums still holding up. Jamie Vardy Park, Leicester. Leicester as well. Jamie Vardy. All them goals. All them goals. All them goals there. Big up Jamie Vardy. Always the legend that he is. Liverpool still at Anfield. Still holding up. Still at Anfield. Liverpool. But it's at this point that Liverpool are basically the second team in this. Sorry, Liverpool fans, but it is what it is, I guess. Oh, damn. I feel bad, man. Do you get me? I feel so bad. But yeah, Man City. Man City's at the Pep Guardiola Stadium. Man United still at Old Trafford. You know, still there. Still holding up. Ta! Rashford turned out to be a Man United legend. It's mad though. Haaland is an icon. Haaland's an icon. I just realised Haaland was an icon for City. Bernardo Silva is a legend. Yeah. Newcastle still at St James's Park. Norwich Stadium. Peterborough Stadium. Reading still at their stadium. Southampton. Spurs still at their stadium as well. And West Ham are at the London Stadium. What did I say? No, Sky Bet Championship. So the promoted clubs, Sheffield Wednesday, Brighton and Salford will get another chance to take a crack at the Prem. They beat Walsall after penalties. You can see here, the Championship is actually still the Championship as well. You got Sheffield, Cardiff still in it, Ipswich still in it, Lincoln still holding about, Fulham as well. You got sides like Boston United that have made it all the way up at this point. Boston United. So yeah, big up to Boston. They've been kicking about. They've been still kicking about. They've been still kicking about in the Championship, looking for the chance. If they can make it to the Premier League, then that would be great for the clubs. Rotherham United still in the Championship. Wrexham, Bristol City. Bristol City's made it back into the Championship. They had their downfall where they were relegated. Bristol City have had a rise. They've had a rise. They've had a massive downfall. And they're on the rise again. They're on the rise again. Bristol City, they made it to the Premier League recent years in the save. Recently, you say Bristol City knocking it about in the Prem. Knocking about the Prem. Bristol City's last Premier League season was 2049. They had a huge drop-off, quick drop-off. They went down to the Vanarama South, absolutely dominated it, quickly rose back to the EFL, And Bristol City rose back to the Championship as well, but couldn't find their feet. But now Bristol City have found their feet. They did get a 10th place finish recently. Could we see Bristol City make their way back to the Premier League? I mean, eventually, I'm going to do an update of this save, actually. We're going to see if Bristol City can make the Premier League. Shout out Josh, my guy. Always, always. So, yeah, man. Bristol City's rise has to be talked about. Bristol City, they've added a few trophies to the cabinet. It's always good to do that. Probably still balling out in the Championship. You got Wigan in the Championship. Notts County, Maidstone, still balling. They're still balling. Maidstone even had a drop off as well. Like Maidstone had a rise. They had a drop off. Maidstone had a rise, drop off, gradual drop off really. Then they're on the rise again. They've spent a lot of time in the Championship. So that's good for them. Good for Maidstone. Even Charlton, Luton, Watford went down. So that's the thing. It's like it's any big teams that are in there. I mean, Ipswich had the biggest stadium. That's not even in the Premier League. Ipswich, Brighton, Ipswich and Brighton, Fulham, Cardiff, Sheffield Wednesday, Bromley have a bigger stadium than like most of the established teams, like Derby, Sheffield United, Stoke, for example. Bigger, man. Wow, So yeah, League One. League One. I think it's more realistic in a sense. West Bromwich Albion in here. Nottingham Forest are in League One, so that's a bit of a drop off. That Nottingham Forest had suffered. Forest have been in League Two in times in this save, but Nottingham Forest have still. You could say Nottingham Forest have fallen off, but Forest haven't fallen off a lot. So there is that. Sunderland as well. Let's have a talk on Sunderland. Nottingham Forest first. No. Let me not do that. Sunderland, we're going to have a talk on Sunderland. Sunderland actually had a huge drop off. Sunderland had another team was on the rise. Sunderland was on the rise recently in the Premier League, 2065, the Black Cats. Then they suffered a huge drop off, relegation for the Black Cats. Black Cats all the way down into the Vanarama North where they stayed for 3 seasons actually, going into 2019. Then Sunderland have made it back to League One, made it back to the Championship. Stepped too far for the Black Cats, but kind of Sunderland, another team to watch out for, especially if I do this save again. Sunderland could be on the rise as well. Scarborough made it all the way to the Championship. So that's another team on the rise. So did Tamworth. They made it all the way to the Championship as well. It's another team to watch out for. Gloucester. League One is their highest point. And Worthing made it up to the Championship for 1 season. Worthing really made it up there. So yeah, big up to Worthing, my director of football team, man. They actually rose up. They rose up to be Championship team, man. Did you get it? Rose up. FC United of Manchester, making it all the way into League One. It's just so nice to see, you know. It's nice to see all these clubs just going up. You know, going through the motions. Even Middlesbrough, we need to talk about Middlesbrough as well. Middlesbrough, another team that had drop off. Borough never made the Premier League though. dropped to the Vanarama North in 2076. So you can see all these teams like Sunderland, Middlesbrough dropped all the way down to 6th tier. They come Bristol City, they dropped all the way down to 6th tier. They are coming back. They are coming back. You know, too big. I'd say they're too big to actually stay there. Dulwich Hamlets, you know, kicking ball. They made it all the way. They made it all the way to League One. Burnley, though, in League Two. Burnley, though, have slipped down to League Two. Burnley, you could probably say, Burnley spent all their years in the Championship, League One, Prem as well. Burnley now having their downfall period. Macclesfield rose up to League One at time. So that's good. That's good for them. That's good for them. Even now, you have teams like Plymouth on the lower end of the league. Plymouth, Argyle. And actually, speaking of the Pilgrims, the Pilgrims was another side that sank to the 6th tier. Argyle, I've noticed them. Preston, down in the lower end of the league, you can see Preston really had that downfall period. You know, Preston recently in the Premier League. Preston recently in Prem, barely surviving. Like, even Blackburn, you know, Blackburn dropped to the Vanarama, and so did Bolton. For example. Bolton was another big team that actually dropped down in here. So you can see the Vanarama National, one point, that standpoint was Wolves have dropped all the way. I think Wolves are the biggest team, dropped all the way to the 6th tier. Holy hell. Wolves last featured in the Premier League 2046. Wolves have suffered in this. Wolves have really suffered. Never made it back. Been in the Championship for a long time. And then Wolves now. Real drop off. Wolves experiencing that downfall, but they want to try and get back. So it's crazy. It's crazy that we've seen big teams absolutely go under. Well, not necessarily go under, but they've gone under as well. Even Oxford United, look at how many years Oxford was in the 6th tier. They could have been relegated out of the game, for Christ's sake. Like, it's crazy. Even saying this, Carlisle United, I'm seeing them back in the Vanarama. Seeing Carlisle United back in the Vanarama. I think Carlisle dropped to the Vanarama North last time. Carlisle still knocking it around in here. Radcliffe made it to the league. Craig Dawson Arena, they just dropped. This is content we want to see. Franchise FC deserve to be in a league like this. They don't need Football League. What are they doing? Yeah, this club's just a dirty club. They might as well just go under. Yeah. Even Woking just had a big drop off. Woking had a big drop off. Woking, one season in the Premier League, 2070, performed poorly. Woking never made it back. Dropped all the way down to the Vanarama. South, that is. South. Yeah, South. Let's see if there's any big teams in this league. Doubt there was. Biggest I see is Fleetwood, but Barrow. But for me, that's always normal. Leighton Orient. Wow! Portsmouth. What happened to these guys? Vanarama South. Portsmouth. My uni team, they just capitulated. Oh, it's a real shame. Pompey was championship for longest, man. Pompey, man. It must be so disappointing being a Portsmouth fan. In this save, that is, just watching Southampton lift the Champions League, and you're in the Vanarama. That is brutal. But yeah, no big teams are in this, guys. Gillingham, well, yeah. Actually, why am I saying Gillingham? They suck. Sutton, you man suck as well. So, Boreham Wood, yeah, they definitely suck. Bro, yeah. Yeah, I'm out of here. You get me? I am out of here. Other than that, you can actually check how big a club is if you just go into stadiums. Yeah, Portsmouth, biggest club. Them man are even playing Havant and Waterlooville, bro. This is crazy. They man used to be affiliate clubs. It's what we doing here. What we doing here? You can see how big this league is. Crew had a new stadium. I didn't even realize Crew got a new stadium. For one, I didn't realize Crew got a new stadium. Two, I didn't even realize Crew was in the National, the Vanarama. I didn't even know that. Three, I didn't even realize Hartlepool was in the Vanarama as well. Gary Liddell Park. Wow. That is honestly wow. I'm lost for words. I'm lost for words. I'm lost for words here, guys. I'm lost. Do you get it? It's mad. It's mad. Anyways, on to France, guys. On to France. And you can see, okay, let's see if any records happened in France. PSG's won it the most. Actually, yeah, I'm gonna be real. Kylian Mbappe's record still stands. Yeah, no one's gonna break that record. 8.23. You man are mad. Boy, honestly, this is unbelievable. Past winners. Let's take a look at the past winners. So Amiens had a period of dominance. Then Nice had a period as well. So you had a few. You had Paris Saint-Germain, a few Lyon in there. But then you had Lille dominance. Then you had Red Star and Dijon dominance. Then a little period of dominance. Then Dijon's been up there. Nice to see Stade Reims winning the recent one. Stade Reims, one of the first French powerhouse clubs as well. It's nice to see that they've been up there as well. Yeah, France still good. France still, something. But if you're asking where, Saint-Étienne is, but you wanted to know where the true first powerhouses of France was, oh no, how do I even check that? Oh no, just go to here. Saint-Étienne, they're relegated out of the game. And Olympique Marseille, yeah, they've basically died. They've basically just died. They're a semi-pro team. They're basically amateur. Yeah. Marseille still in the gar. Marseille are actually in the gar, actually, I should say. Marseille's in the gar. Okay, so. Let's have a look at all of this stuff. Collard of Borussia Dortmund. I don't think anyone's going to beat that record. Zimmerman got the most assists for Baver Bay. Wow, Swiss player. What do you know? What do you know? So, the Bundesliga, you had Leipzig period of dominance, then Hertha Berlin came through, then another Leipzig period of dominance with Leverkusen winning the titles, Bayern Munich with the occasional title here and there, now a Hertha Berlin period of dominance, now Bayern period of, yeah, I mean, it's what you know, it's what you know, really. I didn't even show you the biggest teams in France. I didn't even show you the biggest teams in France. Well, clearly PSG is still the biggest team. Then Nice, Nice with their stadium as well. Patrick Lawson there for Ineos. For Ineos, Perio, Leon. You got Boussy of Lille. You got Boussy of Lille, Rennes, Amiens, Monaco, Toulouse, Dijon, Red Star. Bro, this is mad. Wow, I don't think there is no real life stadium apart from Valenciennes. Everybody has upgraded their stadium in France. Everybody. Meanwhile, but in Germany though, Leipzig have got a new stadium. Dortmund's been in their stadium for a while. Bayern's still at the Allianz. Hertha's at the Olympic Stadium, but they are getting a new stadium, Steven Santos Park. So they're going to be leaving their stadium. Schalke's still at the Velotins. Korte Bayer Leverkusen as an player. Stuttgart, Dusseldorf, Cologne, Frankfurt, Gladbach still at their stadiums. Greta Fürth though, they got a new stadium. Wow, Greta Fürth or a powerhouse club. Very intriguing. Greta Fürth was their growth and development and over the years. Greta Fürth as well. Bochum, Mainz. Shout out Jurgen Klopp. I'm glad Mainz done it as well. But yeah, Saarbrücken. But yeah, it's crazy though. Germany, very intriguing. But yes, the Irish Premier League. We're gonna check that out. Who's won it the most? St. Patrick's Athletic have won the Irish League the most. Wow, that is incredible, actually, for the St. Paddies. And then in the Italian Serie A, you've got Roma, Inter, AC Milan, Lecce, Empoli, Brescia, Juventus, and Atalanta. Napoli with a 12th place finish. The fastest just beating the relegation. All things well, Roma with their period of dominance. Rome. Oh, that's a Portuguese striker. It was on Pisa. Pisa got him, then Leicester got him, and then Roma got him. Incredible numbers that he's actually putting up, by the way. Coming in from Porto. 41 goals. 46 goals. With 15 assists and 10 player of the match. Lord have mercy, man. What a Roma cooking. What a Roma cooking. He's actually getting 46 goals this season. I mean, overall, this is actually a good striker. 37 goals, 56 caps. All like that. Wow, that is all. Did I say Ronaldo region? I don't even think this is Ronaldo region. I'm not sure if this is actually intended to be a Ronaldo region. Or maybe, because I can see why Roma are dominant. Portuguese strikers across the gaff. They signed him from Belenenses. Even he had a 41 goal season. Roma. Yeah, I mean, 1,000-year Roman Empire. Shout out me. John Marie. Okay, French striker for Inter. He's only 130. He just joined in from Monaco. Then Inter with a Portuguese winner. Alson for Tangelis. It's the one. It's one of the most. Inter's won it the most with 64 titles. They had AC Milan won the most matches. Most league wins. Most matches without losing. Inter. Most overall goals. Eric David of AC Milan. He wasn't even a clinical striker. Lombardi. Best player of the month. Vale, AC Milan. Jan Sommer got 24 clean sheets. That was real. Worst discipline. Gianluca Mancini, 6 red cards and 5 yellows. Wow. That is... Whoa. Lombardi, youngest goal scorer in a 3-1 win over Empoli as well. Youngest player. So you can see, enough. Years from now, AC Milan went on a 4 streak of titles. Then Inter took the titles back. And Brescia won a few titles as well. But it's mainly been AC Milan did take the titles. Otherwise, Inter would have had a mad period of dominance until Roma then won it. Then it was hopping from Inter Milan. Then Roma with their period of dominance. They've been dominant. Whoosh. Roma, you know. Roma. Incredible. This is Inter Milan's titles. Look at the amount of titles that they've won. AC Milan titles. That's the amount of titles that they've actually been winning as well. Impressive trophy cabinets. Then you've got Roma. That's on the come up. By the amount of titles that they've won. And Roma's even won the Champions League as well. So we're definitely going to check that. You can see the biggest Italian clubs. You can see that the biggest Italian clubs. The biggest Italian club is now Inter by a clear distance. Inter Milan. Wow. Jeremy Romero Park. Shout out him because he came through from Club Brugge. Signed by Arsenal. Signed by Inter. And then retired at Saudi. Wow. Juventus upgraded their ground. Stadio Olimpico, Roma still there. Both Roma and the Fascists are still there. Napoli still in their stadium. See this now. But most of the Italian teams now have new stadiums, actually. So there is that. Northern Ireland. Interested to see what we've got here with the Northern Ireland. Linfield's been winning it the most, but Ballymacash Rangers look like the new force of the Irish League. The Eredivisie, Ajax have won it 87 times. 202 wins. They've got, wow. They moved into a new stadium as well called the João Carlos Arena, a Brazilian player. That's the second time Ajax have moved into a new stadium. It's like the Netherlands. You just have to increase your stadium size because of the amount of fans and when you're dominant. but most teams had to increase the amount of size. But Netherlands, I mean, imagine a climate change actually happened in the Netherlands. But yeah, Heredity though, 90 matches without losing. So they had basically two undefeated seasons back to back. I didn't even realize two undefeated seasons where they didn't even lose a single game. As you can see, yeah, there, and there. Two undefeated. And then from that period, Heredity went a stretch of titles. Did they actually do 10 in a row? Wow, they did 10 in a row. They actually did 10 in a row. Did Ajax took the titles back? Then Ajax Heredity, they've been having a clash of the clash in the Eredivisie. They've actually moved to the Kmart Roof Arena. I mean, Kmart Roof. He has two stadiums named after him. Oxford United and Heredity. I never met a more influential player in football than this guy. Kmart Roof. What an influential player. And then Maastricht. The Feyenoord have been winning the titles again. Shout them out as well. I mean, overall, I think everybody has moved into a new stadium apart from Vitesse. Yep, that's what's crazy. And these guys don't even start in the Dutch divisions, playables. They came through the Tweed. Portuguese League. We're going to check that out now. Benfica's won it the most times, but Sporting's got the most points. So interestingly, Porto, their stadium is called the Jorge Nuno Pinto de Costa Park, which is their president that just gone, actually. How Porto have just turned into a Portuguese force with the amount of trophies that they've actually won and everything. But intriguingly, the titles were being shared around by Boavista, Sporting, Benfica. Boavista and Sporting have been coming through until Estrela de Aramonda. Have soon been winning it. They've been the powerhouse force in Portugal now. So we are seeing some teams come through. Estrela de Aramonda. So that is incredible. Wouldn't you know this? You've moved away from Benfica. We've moved away from the Benfica Porto dominance. Wow, this is incredible, guys. You're seeing just such awe and dominance and this. Ooh. It's getting me, you know what I'm saying? I don't get me wrong. I wouldn't choke. Yeah, I wouldn't choke. Don't worry. I ain't choking. But Singe Premiership now, I'm just seeing Rangers just about stay up. And Celtic are not even around in this. Aberdeen's won the title. Dundee United took second. Hearts took third. Then Queen's Park, St Mirren and Dunfermline have got Europe. Rangers just about staying up. Hamilton going down. Cove Rangers finishing above the Rangers. Partick Thistle as well. Wow. What has gone on here? Celtic's won the most titles, but Celtic nowhere to be seen. Anywhere. Where are Celtic? Would you imagine? Where are Celtic? Celtic. Which is absolutely incredible, guys. That there is no Celtic. Nowhere. I didn't even check any of the Portuguese records. But the Victoria Gumines players, most of them have been coming through. Killian Delhi, wow, what a player. John Ball, the best player, and then he was picked up by Everton. Thomas Van Buren, wow. Harvey Stanbury, FC Volendam. But let's go into this. Because we need to check this out. This is absolutely incredible. So we ended this with Rangers, a bit of Rangers dominance, with the early Celtic dominance, taking them to a lot of titles. And then the titles are being shared around. Hibs, Rangers, Hibs, Celtic, Motherwell, Hearts, Dunfermline's winning the titles. Then Aberdeen period of dominance from the 2019 with Hearts, Dunfermline, Kilmarnock only winning the other titles. And you can see the top three, Rangers ain't been in the top three, so interesting to see what happened to Rangers. Rangers got relegated at least once. But where are Celtic? Where are Celtic? That is what I want to know. Where is Celtic? Celtic in the Cinch Championship. Okay. And yeah. Yeah. Celtic beat the drop. That is Celtic beat the drop. They've got the biggest stadium in Scotland, but Celtic have been Cinch League One for ages. What has happened to Celtic? Sounds like they can't afford their stadium. It's like, have people been attending? People ain't been attending. Celtic. Wow. Celtic. What if Celtic? No, Celtic being relegated a lot. No, this is incredible. Celtic. What are you man doing? What are you guys actually doing? Celtic. They haven't even played in the Premiership. Celtic. Ah, oh, Celtic, man. Celtic. 203 wins and they don't even... Celtic. Disappointing. Disappointing. Celtic. Disappointing. Disappointing Celtic. But in the Spanish league, this is where things get a lot fun. Girona beating Barcelona, Atletico and Real Madrid to the title with Tenerife and Sociedad in there. That's something as well. Something as well. Spanish records. Real Madrid. 83 wins for Real Madrid. Oh, Parkley. Real Madrid. Arab. Jesus Oriente. Ferreira. But yeah, let's see this row. Real Madrid dominance, bro. That Real Madrid dominance. Real Madrid would have had a match speed. Barcelona didn't pick Real Madrid to the title. They would have been an incredible speed of dominance from Real Madrid. Then Barcelona with a spice with their own. Then Sevilla with their title. Nice that Sevilla picked up the title. That Sevilla picked up the title. Then Girona's picking up titles. And Tenerife as well. Girona's actually won the title quite a few times. So we can actually see Girona, they've grown into a great, great club. But Real Madrid, definitely the team to beat in Spain. 225 wins. Look at this. Look at this. 21 Champions Leagues. Real Madrid. What a team. What a team. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Not it. Got Real Madrid, but Mallorca. Mallorca, what a team! Mallorca, what a team! Great, the way they developed. Even Real Sociedad as well. So the United States, Major League Soccer, Ben Watson and Antonio of Nashville. With the amount of clean sheets that he's been getting. Mitch Evans. Burishmush. That's pretty much it. But Inter Miami's won the most MLS Cups. Inter Miami knew their influence, their riches was always going to get them over the line. And yeah, that's pretty much it. St. Louis City, though, they've been coming through in the Western Conference. So you've got a bit of that. Got a bit of influence. And I must say, guys, Real Salt Lake, yeah, a lot of these big name teams having getting bigger stadiums. LA Galaxy, LAFC. LAFC got new, Luis Aramosa, a Peruvian player. Peruvian player. Wow, this is incredible stuff. Incredible stuff. Now we are going to get into the biggest clubs. Roma are the biggest club in world football. What do I know? Everton, Inter, Hertha Berlin. You can see the Serie A influence. Serie A is now a top league again. Incredible. Bayer Leverkusen, RB Leipzig, Atletico, Real Madrid holding it down for Spain. Then Lille holding it down for France. And then the Saudi teams with great influence of prowess. Rosenborg of Norway, also a powerhouse. Which, Karlsruhe as well. So yeah, it's incredible. It's incredible what we have here, what we've got here. But we're going to check the World Cup. England's won the latest World Cup. Won the latest World Cup. They actually beat the United States 4-1 in the final. It was a good final. It was a good final. Nick Stewart scoring 2 goals and Penn Reese with 2 goals after the Americans leveled up the game. It's always nice. You can actually see, reintuitively, but Conor Barker, 11 goals for England against Guinea. An 11-0 victory. Mamo Monti was the best player for the Italians. Youngest player was a 60-year-old Filipino. Did they actually beat the Irish? Oh, that's it. Terence Bancroft was actually the youngest goal scorer at the World Cup. Shout out the Asian boys. Shout out the Asian boys, you get me? Shout out the Asians. You know that? Wow. That's a But yeah, most matches without losing went to England, but it's incredible. His team goals went to Germans, went to the Germans. But yeah, honestly, World Cup. Brazil won the World Cup after the 50-year one. Then the United States will win World Cups on a regular basis. Like, wow, this is the mad thing that we see. Argentina couldn't even touch the World Cup at any point. Argentina couldn't touch it again. The Brazilians could. Argentina couldn't touch it. You had the Americans, England, Americans, Germany, Americans, Brazil, the Americans, Germany with a 2-3. Then the Americans beat the Ivory Coast. Ivory Coast with the first African team to reach the final. They beat them after extra time. The Netherlands did break their World Cup curse. Because they always lose to France. They lose to French. So there we have it. European Championship, guys. European Championships. Finley Forest won the most. Scored the most goals at the tournament. Aston Villa legend. Kovacic, John Bohr. Again, in the records. Youngest player, Polish player. France won it the most times. There you can see England, its main powerhouses: England, Germans, France, Portuguese, Spain, Italians. Italians stopped the Scots in their home patch after extra time. That must be brutal for the Scots. Watching on, thinking that they were going to win, but unfortunately they couldn't win. But in the Nations League, though, England's been winning the most of it. You can see Italians, Spain, France, English, Portuguese, Germans. Norway even got a victory. Norway pulled off a victory against the Italians. Wales went to final. They lost to France. So it's a bit of a mixed bag that we've got. And then we got the African nations, Africa Cup of Nations. Ivory Coast won it the most. Yeah, Ivory Coast won it the most. You can see why they reached the World Cup final. Barely anybody could touch them. Nigeria barely. I think that is, yeah, that's as good as it's gonna get. That's as good as it's gonna get. Must see a few AFCON wins because Senegal, because Ivory Coast and Senegal, them man are gonna be taking all of it. They're gonna be taking all the titles. And then in the Asian Cup, Asian Cup. No real shocks here. Let's be honest. No real shocks. The Japanese now win it. The Japanese are winning it because the Japanese couldn't even get close to winning it. The Saudis were winning it, and the Australians and Chinese. But wow, the Japanese now winning it. Indonesia's reached a couple finals. Australia beat Qatar in their own patch. They psyched it. But yeah, that's the Asian Cup. That's the Asian Cup right there. East Asian Cup. I mean, God, the Japanese. They just. And in the West Cup, West Asian Cup, you just have the answer mode. But yeah, the Southeast Asian Cup. I mean, it's actually the Thais mainly win it. Filipinas, the Pines. They've been winning it a couple times. They've been winning it. Gold Cup. You already know what's going to happen here. Gold Cup. You already know what's going on with the World Cup. Americans winning the most. Canadians, few Canadians, to Canada. Few Canadian victories, a few Canadian victories as well. Bustle it. And in the Nations League, yeah, nobody else is going to touch the trident of the US, Mexico, and Canada. No one's going to touch it. And then in the South America, I mean, the United States are just ridiculous. They're just the Monroe Doctrine is just so unreal that yeah, the Monroe, yeah. Let's just leave it at that. Let's just leave it. Let's just yeah. Jai is so award winners. Who's been winning all this Ballon d'Ors and all this nonsense? I ain't really checked it. I ain't really checked. I ain't even checked out all this. See if anybody. Sprada won a 3-peat. And Exterior won it. Vanguinho won it with Inter. Wow, I mean, I can see, yeah. Wow. What I've been saying the entire time, I want to see if there's any intriguing transfers that blow our minds, right? Let's just see if this is the case that we've got right here. Let's see if there's any transfers that have blown our minds over the past couple years or so. Okay, Malike Cynthia went from Tenerife to Everton. Cristo Ortiz going from AC Milan to Red Star for 220 million. Then you had Bilio from Lille to Inter. Wow. Then Beto from Juventus to Roma for 256 million pounds. Oh my goodness gracious. No teams are just willing to splash the cash. Korea, Everton, another 200 million. And then we had Mike Steven Terman going from Real Madrid to Inter for 311 million pounds. Look at the teens, bro. These man, it's like you gotta have a tycoon to even splash that amount of cash. Even this Amadou Fall going from Atletico Madrid to West Ham. Pedro Santos going from Atletico Madrid to Man United. Mazoukias going from Liverpool to Manchester City. Wow, that's a betrayal. Leaving Liverpool. But yeah, that is pretty much it. We're going to check the managers now. Oh, how do I check it? How do I check the managers? Pep Guardiola is still the most successful coach. So don't get me wrong. Going to be hard for anybody to be Pep. But Gavi claimed a close second. Cameron Kelly, though, could he be the new Fergie? Marcelo nothing. Villa Klopp is now sound 12th. Favre. Dugdale. Jose Mourinho 18th. Mark Haley 20. 19th. Tafani. Yeah, but yeah, that's pretty much it. Guys, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and peace out.